FC Barcelona, with the new coach in the 2014-2015 season, had a rough time of it. In the Champions League, it was eliminated in the quarter-final playoff stage. Copa del Rey, it was knocked out in the final, and in the Spanish league, it was holding the second place. Quite a season. But fast forward just a year, and they are celebrating a historic treble, that is, they won all 3 major trophies. Well, how did they manage it? It all comes down to assembling one of the most lethal attacking trios football has ever seen. FC Barcelona has been blessed with 3 geniuses of soccer, namely Lionel Messi, Luis Suarez, and Neymar Jr. Collectively, they devastated Europe as they penned their names on the history books, but the history started back in 2013. When I wrote this, Lionel Messi was Barcelona's undisputed superstar, and they had just won La Liga with a record 100 points. Messi really did amaze himself, or rather played himself to great levels of achievement. During those games, he was able to score a total of 60 goals. However, the second highest goal scorer in Barcelona was David Villa, with an average of 16 goals. This shift of pressure placed a great deal on Messi, especially since conquering La Liga. This made the weaknesses of the team surface in the European tournaments. Clásico rivals played against each other twice in the week, with Barcelona losing 4-0 in the La Liga match, and then crashing out of the Champions League semi-final with a 7-0 aggregate loss to Bayern Munich. Barcelona also failed to win the Copa del Rey. They could not afford to go on with only Messi. And then, there comes Neymar, a young Brazilian striker with a raging potency of a winger. Neymar, himself defined as a product of Santos culture at only 22 years, had played 230 matches for Santos and had 203 goal involvement. The next big star of Brazil and Barça was signing Neymar for €57 million on the 3rd June, 2013. Therefore, placing the second fragment in position meant that something truly magnificent was preparing to happen. But they weren't done yet. Thus, the 2013-14 season for Barcelona can be seen as a transition season, a time full of insecurity and fluctuation. Despite David Villa, their second-best striker, he moved to their direct competitors Atletico Madrid, and the pressure was on. Neymar, their new signing. Thiago Alcantara joined Bayern Munich, and it has main staples of Camp Nou legends such as Carles Puyol and Xavi Hernandez for years now. In the Champions League, Barcelona failed again. They drew 1-1 in the first leg of the quarterfinals. Despite Neymar scoring the equalizer, they were beaten 1-0 by Atletico Madrid in the return leg, and thus bowed out of the tournament. The next chance came with the Copa del Rey, but Barcelona's opponent was Real Madrid in a remarkable El Clásico final. This time, though, Madrid was the one that emerged as a winner, making the final score 2-1. With a perfect piece of individual skill from Gareth Bale. La Liga has given one last chance, and all of it boiled down to the last match. Direct title rivals Atletico Madrid came to Camp Nou with the knowledge that a draw would be enough to win them the title. Cruising to victory, Barcelona ended up losing it though, and Atletico got an equalizer that leveled the match at 1-1, that clinched the La Liga title. That year, Barça had just failed in all 3 major cup competitions and came very close to losing the league title. Also, Neymar ended his first season in Spain with 15 goals in 41 games, while Messi scoring 41 goals. In the season, which was a little below par for the star striker, plagued by injuries throughout the season. All in all, it appears that there didn't exist much teamwork and everyone felt crestfallen, as if something was off. However, Barcelona was on the precipice of a greatness that didn't fully dawn on them at this time. This changed when Barcelona hired Luis Enrique as their team's manager on the 1st of July, 2014. He did not take long before having stirred things up. New faces in goal were signed in the form of Claudio Bravo, and Marc-André ter Stegen provided Barcelona a new beginning between the sticks. Arsenal lost 2 attacking players, Viz Cesc Fabregas and Alexis Sanchez, joining the Premier League sides, and this led to the release of capital. Some of that money went to a huge signing, Luis Suarez, the man that would complete the forward line and turn Barcelona into an unparalleled force in the footballing world. This was succeeded by one of the most dramatic comeback stories in modern football. The last piece in the Barcelona attacking jigsaw was Luis Suarez, whose arrival may have been as contentious as it was transformative. At that time, Suarez was the best striker in the world, and it didn't take long to realize that. He was tasting the previous wonderful season at Liverpool, where he single-handedly put up a credible fight to deny Manchester City retaining their Premier League title by scoring the most goals in the Premier League season, averaging 1.63 goals per game. 32 goals in total, and also becoming the record holder for the most goals scored in a 38-match season. In 4 seasons with Liverpool, Suarez scored 82 goals in 133 games, proving to be incredibly clinical. A forward. Barca signed him for PS75M nothing, compared to the world-class talent the club was actually acquiring. But there was a catch. Suarez was banned from the professional football for 4 months due to an unsavory event during the 2014 World Cup. During Uruguay and Italy group stage game, Suarez clinched Italian defender Giorgio Chiellini that made football fans furious. Therefore, he was declared out of playing until October 26th, though he could continue training with his new teammates at Barcelona. Due to the ban, Suarez did not tarry in building rapport with his new teammates at the club, and there was a lot of expectations on him. Beginning the new season, Barça was the team on the brink of creating a great, exciting team. Luis Enrique was at the allocations, which always served new and fresh energies for the squad. Neymar, who had a full season in La Liga, looked sharper than ever before. Messi continued to be the ever-damaging player that he had always been, and out-of-sight Suarez waiting for his chance to come into the team. Despite 7 changes in the starting lineup, Barcelona began their season on August 24th with a 3-0 dismissal of Elche, which Messi took 2 goals. The team carried on that form, and on the 27th of September, the team gave an indication of intent when they scored 6 goals against Granada. Neymar scored his first hat-trick of the calendar year. Messi scored 2 goals, and new signing Ivan Rakitic also contributed to the scorers list, proving the fact that this Barcelona team was fully charged even without the arrival of Suarez. But it was about to get even better. Suarez was ready to play from the start of October, and he got to feature for the first time in a La Liga Clásico match against Real Madrid. Had it been scripted for Barça, the day never for the stage was set for a grand entrance, but things did not turn out well as planned. Real Madrid won the game 3-1, a mark that the journey to the pinnacle was not going to be a walk in the park for Barcelona. However, the puzzle was coming together. Finally, Messi, Neymar, and Suarez were signed up, and Barcelona were ready to bring out that front line that would soon make history. Actually, the real magic was only just starting. Barcelona's season 2014-15 started with a lot of optimism, as well as a lot of questions. Neymar had put them 1-0 in the first El Clásico, but went down courtesy of goals from Cristiano Ronaldo, Pepe and Karim Benzema to lose 3-1 and become the first team to be beaten by Real Madrid this season. 5 days later, they had gone down 1-0 to Celta Vigo, and had slipped to 4th in the Spanish league. However, even during this period, the team was still getting to gel, especially the 3 forwards Messi, Neymar, and Suarez. Later, Suarez was to identify this period as the one that caused them to break usually. First, it was Messi dropped behind the strike force, before a repositioning with Messi and Ney on the right, Neymar on the left, and Suarez in the middle gave birth to MSN. From that point of start, Barcelona continued right through with an 11-match winning streak. But they were disappointing to Malaga. However, their performance improved with time. In the Champions League, they easily overcame Manchester City 3-1 in aggregate score in the round of 16, while 5 days later in the second part of El Clásico season they won 2-1. And Barcelona moved 4 points clear at the top of the table. As we entered in April, Barcelona was still in contention for all the top 4 competitions. They humbled PSG 5-1 on aggregate in the Champions League quarter-final, and Suarez and Neymar scored 5 goals between them. At home, they were ruthless and virtually swept aside Getafe 6-0 and Cordoba 8-0 with MSN formation in full flow. Their supremacy was compounded when they thrashed Bayern Munich 3-2 on aggregate in the Champions League semi-finals, a match which included Messi's MSN solo goal. Barça clinched their first trophy of the season with a 1-0 victory against Atletico Madrid to claim the La Liga title. In the Copa del Rey final, Messi repeated an action that often becomes a signature of his spectacular goals. He started from his own half of the pitch and ferociously broke through the rivals' defenses. Score as Barcelona won 3-1. This historic treble was accomplished when they triumphed over Juventus 3-1 in the Champions League final, making the MSN the first European club qualifying the treble twice. Suarez played 43 games and scored 25 goals. Neymar netted 39 goals in 51 matches, while Messi scored more, 58 goals in 57 games. Combined, they were able to pull off 122 goals and set a record for attacking midfielders, and they proceeded to beat that record the following season in the 2015-2016 season. Barcelona began well, but a 6-week Messi hiatus due to injury might have easily disrupted the team's progress. Neymar and Suarez rose to the occasion instead. In a way, they did this on November 21st when they thrashed Real Madrid 4-0 at the Bernabeu without Messi to prove how powerful MSN was. Suarez affirmed his position as the world's best striker in front of goal, whilst Messi again jetted off to collect his 5th Ballon d'Or in. February came and went, and in March Barça equaled a record that had stood for 90 years when that set a new record for the most consecutive wins without losing since the formation of the league in 1929, hammering Rayo Vallecano 5. MSN was making history, and stories like this one showed that they were far from done. The Barca's campaign of incidental begun with the string of 39 games without defeat in the season 2015-16 to break the record set by Real Madrid in 1989. MSN Messi, Suarez and Neymar kept on harrying, eliminating Arsenal from the Champions League. Their prospect of securing another treble remained high, but in April things began to go wrong. Barcelona lost El Clasico, saw their unbeaten run end, and were eliminated from the Champions League by Atletico Madrid. Their subsequent performances in La Liga were poor, which put the whole season under jeopardy. They then awakened on April 20th, where Suarez single-handedly scored 4 goals and provided 3 assists in an 8-0 thrashing of Deportivo. 3 days later, he repeated the exploit by hitting 4 goals in a 6-0 victory over Sporting Gijon. On his form alone, they took it up till the end of the season, and on 14th May Barcelona clinched the La Liga title with the help of Suarez's hat-trick. 8 days later, they clinched a domestic cup double by defeating Sevilla 2-0 in the final of Copa del Rey. Together, MSN scored 130 goals and made 77 assists, showing MSN was ever better. But Suarez was the best, becoming the top goalscorer and playmaker of La Liga, clinching the European Golden Boot with 59 goals and 26 assists. The power shift was, however, brewing. Real Madrid, which now had a new manager in Zinedine Zidane, started making a comeback by clinching the Champions League title. Going into the 2016-17 season, Dani Alves moved to PSG, while Neymar signed a new 5-year deal that made him seem like he would forever remain at the club. The second game week was full of drama. Barcelona continued to perform outstandingly well, especially Suarez and Messi, who are ruling La Liga and Champions League. Suarez even recently extended the contract in December, so MSN remains intact till 2021. Nonetheless, the highlight moment of the season was in the round of 16 of the Champions League. Having lost 4-0 to PSG in the first leg, Barcelona really needed a miracle. They were given that at Camp Nou. Suarez gave a goal. 2017 PSG signed Neymar for a world record, and upon signing him they expected him to assume the leadership role. But Golovin never climbed back up to those elevations. He remained a high-skill player nonetheless. On the other hand, Barcelona failed to fill the vacuum left by him, and spent the Neymar's money on wasted transfer activities like Coutinho and Dembele. Suarez transferred in 2020 to Atletico Madrid, and Messi joined Neymar and PSG in 2021, but the trio couldn't replicate their Barcelona success. It did, and now Neymar entertains fans in Saudi Arabia rather than in Barcelona or Paris. Messi and Suarez are now together in MLS playing for Inter Miami. Meanwhile, Barca's reign at the top has waned, but the memory of those MSN days remains, and the threesome of Messi, Suarez and Neymar delivered 371 goals and numerous trophies. Indeed, it was perhaps the most glorious time for Barca. If you are interested in the Zidane period for Real Madrid, watch until the end of this video. Plus, while you're here, you might as well watch the video on screen. This one is